Hello and welcome. This is Rashmi. We are coming to you today from the beautiful campus of Transworld Educare, which is associated with the Davao Medical School Foundation, Philippines. We are going to tell you what DMSF is about a little ahead in the show. But let me tell you, they are one of the top-rated medical schools in Asia. It is certainly showing in the students' results. And we will also be celebrating outstanding achievements by DMSF graduates in the Medical Council of India test. We have with us today medical students, doctors, specialists, advisors, and an educationist to tell us about education at DMSF Philippines with their personal experiences. We also have a special host for the day, who is a medical doctor, the only one to carry the Mrs. World title, Dr. Aditi Govitrikar.
Thank you so much for the introduction. It is my honor to be the host of this show. Why show? It is a celebration. We have the first batch which graduated from DMSF right over here with us. We have the new batch amongst us as well. It is the 10th year celebration of DMSF students. So let's join the panelists now for the further discussion. Our panelists here today, we have Mr. David Pillai, a person who chairs more than 5 places as chairman, starting with Transworld Educare Society of All Saints Education School, Pune Christian Medical Association, chairman for the NM Wadia Hospital to be inaugurated this year end, and is the sole strategic partner at DMSF Philippines. He is an educationist with a vision to change the perspective of education in the coming years, with innovative ideas that have already begun to show result at the college, where 1,180 graduated students, out of which 90% have cleared the MCI. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Pillai. A special mention to his initiative for getting the law passed for the students going abroad in 2002, which we will speak about later. We also have with us, right from DMSF Philippines, Professor Nobliza Giselle. Professor Mrs. Pains Maria Teresa. Professor Mr. Arundane Gilbert. We have our very own graduate from DMSF 2007 batch, Dr. Sagar Deep Singh, who has completed his post-graduation in pediatrics and is now working in Hindu Rao Hospital, Delhi. We have amongst us Dr. Vaidehi, first robotic gynac surgeon in Gujarat and the first lady gynac surgeon in India. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have Dr. Y. Ibrahim, Pro Vice Chancellor, Vinayaka Mission and Research Foundation. Well-renowned educationist and well-connected in the education field, pioneer for establishing and developing colleges and programs for the past 36 years. He is acquainted with all the relevant APACs councils like Medical Council, Nursing Council, Pharmacy Council, AICTE, NCTE, Vice President for Tamil Nadu State Nurses and Midwifery Council, Nurses, Board Member YMCSLM, Tamil Nadu. And of course, we have our amazing audience, which is a mix of freshers, graduates, recent and experienced practitioners, all from DMSF, and parents who have kindly agreed to be here with us and share their experiences with the doctors-to-be. Now, what is the Davao Medical College all about? Well, it started in year 1976 and today is one of the top 6 performing medical colleges in Philippines and is rated in the A+ category of facilities and infrastructure in Asia. It is the only medical institution which is attached to more than 5,000 patients' beds for clinical rotation. DMSF has had over 9 batches of Indian students who have graduated and are successfully practicing in renowned hospitals across the world. The Davao Medical School Foundation in the Philippines has an exclusive strategic partner in India, and that is the Transworld Group. The Transworld Group was incorporated in the year 1999 and is engaged in various educational activities. But most importantly, it is a pioneer in introducing medical studies for Indian students who aspire to study medicine in the Philippines. They also facilitate medical studies in South America. Since the past few years, the students have been toppers at the MCI test, and for June 2018, the passing percent has gone up to 90%, with the lady who ranked second this year sitting right amongst us. To start our discussion, I will turn to Mr. David. Mr. David, why did you choose Philippines for medical studies?
Namaste. Well, Transworld Educate was established in the year 1999 with the sole purpose of finding the right destination for Indian students aspiring to become doctors. Well, you all know the fact that India has got very less number of seats for medical students, and there are so many of them wanted to become doctors. For a country with a population of 1.3 billion, we've got just 63,000 seats as on today. Not more than that. I'm talking about undergraduate level. Whereas more than 1.2 million students wanted to become doctors. So there is a huge demand and less of supply. So we as Transworld travel throughout the globe to find out the right destination for these students if they would pursue their medical career abroad and come back and practice in India. I have traveled the length and breadth of most of the countries, especially China, Russia, Ukraine, Armenia, Romania, and most part of the Central America, Caribbean. I have been to many countries. Besides that, even Africa, from this end to the other end, I have traveled. Going to all these places, there were several questions unanswered. The first one is language. Most of these countries did not speak English. The people there did not speak English. Whereas Indian students are fluent with English, and we need to find a right destination means it should be an English-speaking country. That's very, very important. The other one is climate, which plays a very, very important role, because when I say climate, every country's disease spectrum will be according to the climate of the country. And most of these countries are cold countries. The entire disease spectrum seems to be totally different. And for Indian students to practice there or learn there and come back and practice India will be a difficult thing. These are two major reasons, and there are multiple smaller other reasons why these countries I do not find to be the best destination for Indian students.
So you found a perfect match.
Yes. Finally, I went to Philippines. I went with 10 points which are very essential for Indian students. I come to know that there are more than 10 good points that suited for Indian students. Number one, it is an English-speaking country. I do not know if most of you know this fact that Philippines is the third largest English-speaking country in the world. So it's a perfect English-speaking country. The people are very cordial and warm. They love foreigners. I've seen that, and most of the students would have had the similar experience when you were studying there. Now, besides that, the cost of living is very much affordable, very reasonable, and we've got lots of flight connectivity. And the most important thing is, this is a perfect tropical climatic country. So the disease spectrum in India and in Philippines are exactly the same.
So they get great experience as well.
Exactly. They get the best experience there, and clinical practice is allowed. And that is the reason we selected Philippines And we went there in the year 2002, and today we have got close to 1,180 graduates practicing all over the world in
Fabulous.
different fields.
So, any specific reason to choose Davao?
Yes. The Philippines have got approximately 50 medical schools, mostly spread more on these two states, that is the Luzon and Visayas. Whereas in Mindanao, in Davao, there is only one medical school, that is Davao Medical School, which was established in 1976, and it has been the only medical school in the city. So we chose that city because we will have more clinical exposure for our students to practice, because having one medical school and there will be many hospitals to practice. That is one of the reasons. Then again, I also chose Davao for various other reasons. I used to joke with this, that I had 5 D's associated with Davao. That's one of the reasons I chose. Number one, the letter starts with D, Davao, and my letter is also D, David. So 2.
So,
okay?
Dabang David chooses Davao.
Davao. And then the president of the country today is Duterte. Now he is also from Davao. Okay? So that is another thing. And he made the city the highest disciplined city in the Philippines. Now if you can see the Geography Channel's survey sometimes back, they've given an award for Davao city as the most livable, crime-free, safest city in Asia. Now this is not an easy thing. Okay? So, and when we are planning to send our students to any city, we look for the crime rate, we will look for safe living. So Davao was one. So this is also one of the most important reasons why we selected. So I put it all together, 5 Ds, that is Davao, DMSF, David, Discipline, Duterte. These are the 5 reasons why I selected Davao City.
That is something even I wasn't aware of. So, anything similar to why you would only think of DMSF? There were so many other colleges, maybe starting with D.
Yes. That's a good question. See, as I told you, in the Philippines, there are approximately 50 medical schools. You can categorize them into 3 larger categories. That is the top 10 performing medical schools, then the middle performing medical schools, and the lowest, which we are not bothered about. Now, Davao Medical School, for the last complete decade, they've always stood on the top 10 performing schools in the Philippines, continuously. It's not an easy thing, okay? But the beauty of Davao Medical School is, it takes very ordinary students and transforms them into very nice doctors, including the Indian students who go from here as an ordinary student. They are not the toppers. But if you see the record what they have created in India over the last 1 decade, every year we have topped the MCI. The first batch is right here. I just wanted to mention about this first batch. Most of them are eminent doctors in various hospitals in our country and even in abroad. Now, if you ask them, it was the toughest year because the overall passing percentage of Indian screening exam at that time was only 6%. It was just 6%. And Davao Medical School graduates had 72% of pass. It's not an easy thing. The top 4 were from Davao Medical School. The first girl, I still remember her name, Dr. Shruti Bandari. Now she is in the US in Johns Hopkins. And it's not an easy place to go, in the sense one has to be really good to be there. That's one. Then we've got another doctor, Dr. Ankit Patel. He's also in the US. I'm not sure about the third name. And the fourth one is sitting right across next to me. Dr. Vaidegi used to be a very charming little girl at that time also, always smiling and always focused on her studies. Now, I'm so proud to hear, I heard from you a while ago that Dr. Vaidegi is the first robotic surgeon in Gujarat in the gynec department, and the first women robotic gynec surgeon in the whole of the country. It's really amazing to hear. But these are all our achievements. So now, Davao Medical School did not perform only for the foreign students. As I was telling you, their grading starts with the local students' performance. That is, in their country, they've got a board exam just like the USMLE, and they will grade their school according to the passing in board exam. Now, Davao Medical School for the last 10 years have been always in the top 6 or top 10. They've been performing so well. And today, I would say that they are one of the most leading advanced medical school in Philippines. Not only in Philippines, I think that in Asia, definitely they should be the leading best medical school as far as my knowledge goes.
Thank you so much for your insights. Moving on to our guests from DMSF. Professors, I would like to ask you one at a time, what has been your experience with Transworld Educare and with our Indian students? So we'll start with you.
With regards our relationship with Transworld, we are very fortunate to have also partnered with Dr. David Pilay since we had very wonderful experiences with the partnership. And with regards to the foreign students, we actually treat them like also our locals. And they're very also determined. And we can see from their faces that they really want to become doctors. And that's why we also, on our part, I think Dr. David Pilay has already mentioned a lot about our school. The faculty is also very dedicated.
Thank you. Ma'am?
Let me start by saying that I really love my Indian students without a doubt. And they know it.
And a little
They
secret,
really know it.
she also loves the Indian biryani.
Yeah, I cook Indian biryani. Yeah, I love them. They are so competitive, and they are so, aside from cooperative, they very opinionated. Whenever we have discussions in medical ethics, which I handle, they're really very vocal about their views. They're so passionate about what they believe in.
Thank you.
For me, I have the privilege of seeing them when they just came to our school because I handle first year initially. And I see both some anxiety on their part, but at the same time, the hunger to learn. And it's always a very nice interaction with them because they come to school knowing what they want and really motivated because I think they know that their country needs them. And for them to go back as doctors and serve their country is very important for them. And we see that in their eyes. And because I also handle third year, so I see them evolve into seemingly innocent, very anxious, and not so confident students to evolving into very confident individuals. For a teacher, I think the one thing that is makes us happy and makes us fulfilled is seeing them initially as students and now becoming our colleagues in another country.
Now turning to our very own Dr. Sagar. Dr. Sagar, what is the difference according to you in getting a degree from India and getting a degree from DMSF?
The degree which we are getting in India is MBBS, that is Bachelor's in Medicine and Bachelor's in Surgery, while the degree which we are offered there is MD, Doctor of Medicine. So the basic difference is this is an American-based pattern which is newer. So in this pattern, there is much more of clinical exposure than what we are getting in India. So since I still remember during our first year in physiology, we were having group discussions related to patients starting from the first year itself. And then the best or the biggest advantage that I feel is that we have 1 year of clinical clerkship over there. And in that clinical clerkship, we are supposed to rotate 1 month in a government hospital and 1 month in a private hospital. So that makes us pretty pretty adapted to work in both in a government sector as well as private sector when we come back to India. So right now, I've completed my residency in pediatrics and I'm working in a government medical college. So, but I still feel it was SPMC, Southern Philippines Medical Center, that groomed me to handle such a heavy patient load. So right now, even now, if I have to work heavy duties or heavy shifts, it doesn't seem a big problem to me. So, so the foundation laid by DMSF have been so strong that I think we all are pretty apt to work anywhere in any conditions and in any country.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing this with us, Dr. Sagar. Dr. Vaidehi, what was the specific reason that you chose DMSF?
Well, I would like to say that I'm the first student of the first batch of DMSF. And I was the first one to get enrolled there. I chose DMSF for two main reasons. Firstly, when I wanted to become a doctor, the first thing that went into my mind was that it was not just for namesake. I wanted to become a very competent and a very efficient doctor. So when I found that the syllabus, the curriculum of DMSF is US based, it is based on a conceptual knowledge rather than just mugging up and giving the exams. And it is totally the exposure with the patients. So I found that that would be one thing that will establish a good foundation in me. Because to become just a simple graduate was never my dream. My dream was always to become and achieve something exceptional which no one else might have achieved in my field.
I think you're a super achiever.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I'm
you for
honored.
being with us. So, moving on to you, what I would like to know is your thoughts on why an Indian student would go abroad to study medicine.
Thank you. So, Indian students, they need a very important medical program. So here in India, they were not able to admit because of this want of seats. There are so many medical colleges, private and government, run by state government and central government, as well as self-financing medical colleges. But the students and parents are ready to study the medical program, but they are not unable to admitted in our country because there are only limited seats, as our president said. So everybody wants to study the medical program so that they will qualified as a medical doctors and come back to our India to serve the mankind because of our population is high. So that's why our Indian students, they want to go to study foreign countries, especially in Philippines.
We have amongst us a few graduates. So I'm going to ask one of the graduates, Dr. Siddhant, to tell me or share his opinion on what he just now said. Do you agree with him? If so, why? And if not, then why?
Dr. Siddhant Patil. I'm the graduate for the first batch of Davao Medical School Foundation in the year 2007. I work as an associate zonal manager in MedLife India Private Limited. Well, as he said, the seats are very limited in India and the aspirants are a lot in number, which makes it difficult for us to even think about the opportunity of seeing ourselves as a practitioner. The fees also included to many other institutes are very high. The cost of being a doctor is really high. So when I saw the opportunity of going somewhere and doing something different, with the prospect of seeing how it is done, I was very intrigued by it. And that's why I chose. Because not just that, not just about fees and the opportunity that I'm getting, but also the exposure, the clinical exposure, the academics, everything was very apt and very brilliant for me to inculcate them in my personal area, personal zone. And when I came back after my graduation and I stood in front of the other Indian graduates who have done their medicine from here, I was with them, or I would like to say at some parts above them in clinicals, which made a difference, a lot of difference. although I was undermined at some stage, but I proved them that I'm doing well.
I'm Dr. Shaumil. I am the graduate also from the first batch, from batch 2007. Thank you for the question. I think what Siddhant told is pretty more aligned and it's pretty more similar, or all our experiences are similar. But when you're saying what are the major differences, I would say the clinical exposure that we received at Philippines, at DMSF, is far better than what I feel that we have compared to our other batchmates or other colleagues who are studying from or who are studying from India. So we have an upper edge or an upper hand when it comes to clinical exposure and clinical experience. But what I felt also is, now I'm currently working as a senior medical advisor for Smith & Nephew, which is one of the leading companies who makes medical devices and implants. Not only that, not only the clinical exposure, what I also feel, what DMSF and what Philippines has taught us is how to live life, not only in clinics but outside clinics.
I would like to add a little bit into this. I mean, there are so many small things which we learned in DMSF. Like, I'll share an experience. In India, we are supposed to do a research in our post-graduation. And I still remember that we had a research, we did a research in physiology, which is a first year subject. So a lot of things like the research methodology, Indian graduates were learning right now when they are in the residency, and I felt like I knew everything. So there are a lot of other things apart from the research, like the way they teach us, and it gets incorporated in us, and when we apply them, it is somewhere in our subconscious.
Hearing that story from you really is very heartwarming, because I teach research in physiology first year.
Yes, I remember.
Now we can say that all our hard work is paying off.
Yes, absolutely. I did my MBBS in Mumbai, and I have to admit that we did not do research in our graduation. We only did it afterwards. So it is an added advantage for sure.
We completed actually two researches, one in physiology and one in pharmacology. And now I did my third.
The plot thickens.
Yeah, and now I've submitted my paper now again during my PG. But there were classes for them, but we already knew it. So these are small things, so which makes us an advantage to Indian graduates.
Absolutely. We also have Priya Singla with us. Priya, tell us, how was your experience going to DMSF the day you joined the college?
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Priya Singla. I would first like to tell about myself when I joined. So I started my MBBS in 2012 and I graduated from DMSF in June 2017. So I still remember the first day when I entered the campus. It was all new, very different for me. And slowly, I started meeting everybody. I got to meet a lot of Filipinos. I got to meet a lot of Indian students who were already studying there, my seniors. I adapted very fast. And I think the one thing I would like to mention is the difference between the kinds of people. I feel Filipinos have a huge heart. And till now, no, I am so serious. Like, they are so genuine, they are so open, they are so loving, they don't judge you, they accept you for who you are, and that was a very comforting change. And honestly, after coming back to India, that is one thing I miss the most.
I am Dr. Ashish, passed first page from Davao City, DMSF School Foundation. Regarding your question, I would like to share that when I completed my internship, as soon as I completed internship on the 31st January, so before completing of my internship, I had a letter, appointment letter from the medical college as a biochemistry tutor. That is the first advantage of being a DMSF student. I am currently working as a primary health center medical officer in charge. I am teaching to the field people, A&M, as well as other officers, how to treat the acute malnutrition at the primary level. The best thing about DMSF is how to handle the stress in a village with the local public, which they don't know ABCD of the anything in the healthcare department. So the best part is I can work with the minimal equipments, minimal sources, and minimal medicines over there, and I'm managing the part. That is the best part I learned from the DMSF. That is the best, good thing I will learn. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Dr. Shantanu, I would like to ask you what your experience at DMSF has been.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Shantanu. I've done my MS General Surgery and I'm currently practicing as a general surgeon. One thing I would like to mention, like my all colleagues said, we had a subject called community medicine, for which we had to go to the community itself, in each different barangay, the small villages, and to meet every common local people over there, and to see their problems, to treat them, to have the medical camps. Now, currently, when I'm practicing in a charitable hospital, I find those things, I remember those old days, which are so useful, This was the foundation which was led by DMSF. So that's how it's helping us right now, for so many years.
I'm Dr. Hardik Thakur. I'm from Mumbai, from the first batch of DMSF. I'm currently a resident of MD Pharmac in Sion Hospital, Mumbai, which is amongst the top 10 institutes in India. Yeah. So, for me, we were very immature when we went to DMSF, or rather traveling to Philippines for the first time. So I had a talk with my dad. So, frankly speaking, we took a chance. We were not sure what's going to happen with my life in the future, okay? It was a chance that we had to take. So, but the important thing is, today when I sit with my dad at home, we discuss about it, and this was the best chance we took ever.
I'm Dr. Yogesh Jevdikar. I'm also first batch pass out of 2007 batch from DMSF. I'm currently working as a consulting radiologist in Pune. About DMSF, actually the experience of DMSF was actually, everybody has mentioned so many things about it. The basic knowledge which we got there, the ethics which we learned, the person we have become in 4 years was really amazing.
I'm Dr. Sujay. I also passed my MBBS from DMSF from the first batch. Right now, I'm working as a senior clinical auditor in Delhi Claims Company Private Limited. So the main thing which DMSF helped us was in developing our personality till now. Initially, when we went to Philippines, like Dr. Hardik said, we were immature. But when we passed out from DMSF, our maturity level has increased, and it has helped us to present ourselves in public. How to present yourself, how to take yourself ahead and move ahead in your life.
The thing is, today, DMSF is not what you used to be. It has become the most advanced medical school in Asia. No doubt about it. The most advanced medical school with the biggest faculty, dedicated faculty. I think that we've got close to around 500 or more professors in our school. More than 500 professors. It was not the number when you were there. All of them are dedicated. There's one person, I do not know whether I should call him a person or an angel or something beyond, Dr. Basa. Okay?
I'm Dr. Sudhanshu Bhattacharya, same batch from Nagpur. As you mentioned earlier that we are like a family, we should be like a family. I think we are already like a family. We met in 2006, all of us. We went to Philippines, we were just 17, 18 years old. We were very hesitant, our parents were very scared to send us there. We are still in touch with all the faculty members there because we were the first students there and they treated us like family. We never felt like that we are away from home. They made us, they were very cordial and very accommodating. And they not only out of the classrooms, but inside the classroom also they attended to our every query very personally. So because of that, I think that's one more thing that we should add here, that in India there are classes with 100 and 150 students. So it's not possible for the lecturer and the faculty members and the professors to attend their problems personally. But they made sure that our concepts are to the root and very clear. And some of the lectures we still remember while we are in the clinical rotation. They taught us that in the classroom and we are seeing it in the patient now.
They have a trend in Philippines pre-lecture quiz and a post-lecture quiz. No one can be late for the lecture. No one can just come for attendance, and no one can run away just without attending the lecture. And whether your mind is present in the class or not, that would be examined by the post-lecture quiz. So that is one way in which students were forced themselves to study. And my father used to tell me always that if you manage 4 years of your life to study well and dedicate yourself completely, your 40 years will be very beautiful. And in Philippines, they made sure that, okay, your 4 years you are dedicated to studies. So this is one thing that why education is better. They have promised one thing, that is of quality education, and they are keeping up to their promise, and that is the most beautiful thing and the important thing that they are doing it.
I have sent my daughter also to the same medical school. She's also in Davao Medical School, doing great. She's a good scholar. I could have easily got her into any medical school in our country, but I decided to send her there because I sincerely feel DMSF is the best in Asia. And in the days to come, it might be striking the headlines in the world, the best medical school in the world, no doubt about it. Okay? With the kind of quality doctors getting out of the school, I'm very sure that it's not too far away to hear that, see that headlines, the best school in the world. As you rightly said, we are here to celebrate this occasion on 3 accounts. One is we've got the first batch of DMSF who came out and proved to be the best in the country. Okay, that's one. Second thing, we have got our 10th batch, which recently passed out the screening exam in such a manner that we are again the topper. So for the last 10 years, we have been continuously topping the screening exam, which we did not mention it anywhere. But today I would like to make it a point that all these 10 years, DMSF has been always the topper in the MCA screening exam. That's a very big thing. Okay? Now this year, it is all the more important because we had 214 students who wrote the screening exam, and we had 86% of passing ratio, 86%, whereas the overall country's passing percentage is only 26. It's only 26, whereas DMSF made it to 86. It's not just there alone. We've got again the topper, the number 2 in the top is our own again, Dr. Vatsala, who's sitting right here. And let's all give her a big hand. Okay, Dr. Vatsala. And again, we are close to 20 or even more students who are in the top list with more than 200 percentile. It's not an easy thing. And we've got 6 of our own students who are in the top 10 the percentiles of MCA screening exam. 6 of our students, they're all sitting here. So these are all the reasons why we wanted to celebrate the victory of DMSF. And one of the beautiful things what DMSF does is, they take their professor to various countries and to show them the medical program in various countries. Am I right, doctor? They always benchmark with the topmost performing medical schools of each country.
So we have Vatsala, as Mr. Pillai mentioned. Vatsala, tell me, how did you prepare for the test? What were the difficulties that you faced?
I just graduated this December 2017. So when I came back to India, I only had about 4 months of prep time before I had to sit for the exam. So I realized that there was no way that I was going to learn anything new, because medicine does not sit in your head that easy and that fast. But when I went back to it, because you have to study first year through 5th year all over again for the test, I went back to it and then I realized that everything I needed to know was already here. Because when we are in med school, we refer to the standard textbooks that are being used internationally. Like, for example, in medicine, we use Harrison's. We have Schwartz for surgery. We have Williams for OB. Anyone in the medicine world, these are their Bibles in the respective fields. And these were our go-to textbook for our day-to-day classes. So coming back, it was very easy for me to pick things up, and I knew that it's okay. I always knew I was going to pass. The second rank was an added surprise. But yeah, DMSF gave us that. The length and breadth of our knowledge was more than enough to set us up higher than what we were competing with.
So DMSF gave her the wings to fly.
Yes.
And I wish you all the success in life. Now moving on to the parents. We have parents of the doctors, the students over here. I would like to ask you, ma'am, why did you choose DMSF for your child?
First, I would like to introduce myself. Professor Sunita Sakure. I am associated with Appa Saheb Jedhe College as a head of the Department of Microbiology. When I visited here in the transfer for the admission of my daughter, Maithili Sakure, I was quite hesitated to send her in a place like Philippines. But last month only, when I visited Philippines, I found that that place is very peaceful place. Also, I visited Dr. David sir there, and my daughter has been admitted she went just in February there. She had some problems related to her hostel and other things. Whenever any small problem was there, I used to call the people here in the transfer, as well as I used to go there in the Wadia hospital. Always every person from the transfer, they were entertained every small problem of us. And when I visited Davao, I found that DMSF is the very best college. Paperless exam halls I found there. The paperless exam is the concept where in India we used to have only 50 to 60 computers in one room, but there I found about 150 to 200 computers in a single hall.
Did you consider the safety of your child? Because, you know, they are leaving at a very young age.
It's myself, Advocate Surekha Shelar. My son, Atharva Shelar, is studying in Davao Medical School Foundation in 3rd year now, and he is doing very well. And going to your question, I really was very worried about the safety of my child there. I used to visit Mr. Pillai every second day. I used to be in his office, and I was just with so many questions and so many things, but he never ever, he answered all my questions.
And now the reason why we are here, for the big celebration. May I request Dr. Abraham to kindly honor Vatsala for standing second in the MCI exam this year in June. May I now request Dr. Arendine to honor Rupert for standing 7th at the MCI exam. And now, Mr. David, please may I request you to honor Durai for standing 10th in the MCI exam. May I now request Mr. Cadwin Pillai, Director of Transworld, to honor Dr. Vaidehi for her achievements.
Just like when you sow a seed, when you're waiting for the reap, and if it is in abundance, how joyful you would be. That is a feeling I could have today. You know, I've seen these kids coming into the school very innocent, with that glittering eyes, to become doctors, and today I see them becoming one and serving in various parts of the world, and that really brings me immense joy. Seeing these young doctors here, I feel that I have passed out medicine and I have wrote screening exam and I'm a doctor today. That's the kind of feeling I feel today. And thank you so much. Thank you one and all. It is a real joy to be part of this great success. Thank you so much. Thank you.